I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Who gives a fuck? I don't care if you personally kick Candace Owens and her stinky
cray-cray.
No good thing starts with, I was thinking about my ex.
He ain't learned his lesson. That's a brother ain't gonna learn shit.
I know this is gonna be unpopular and I don't care.
Let's keep this shit funky.
What's happening? What's craculating? What's unpopping, good people? I am T-Stone. Welcome to the Unpopular Opinion Show, or Unpoppin' Show, home of the unpopular opinions. I'm T-Stone and enjoying as, see, I knew I wasn't going to get it as clean as the first time. So y'all didn't see me nail this landing the first time, but whatever. Joined by, as always, my partner in crime, DJ Mike Swift. What's happening?
Nothing much, man. I feel like one of the Olympic judges, like I should hold up a card.
Stick to plan. I stumbled on that one. Like, oh, damn. So good, man. Hey, so it's the top of the year for us. Actually, middle of the month. Dr. King weekend. Happy Dr. King Day. I don't know. Is that the way to say it? Do we say Happy Dr. King Day? Or?
You know, I always struggled with that, right? Like, you don't say happy on the day where you're celebrating somebody's passing or whatever. Right. You know, so maybe it's, I don't know. You just kind of politely bow when you walk past people. I don't know how to do that. Like, hey.
You give them the black fist there, not actually putting the fist in the air. It's just the look in your eyes, like that's it. For those who are listening, I gave a stupid look to the camera. Don't worry about it. Any case, Mike, I noticed you. Last time we were on, we talked about you contracting or coming positive, being COVID positive.
Yes.
You're better now.
I am officially testing negative for COVID, but I still have what they call the persistent cough. Feels like this damn thing won't go anywhere.
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope that cough go away. Feel like I need to put a mask on even through the cameras. But in any case, I actually, since we last, did the show, myself and my family, my household here were diagnosed COVID positive as well. My wife had it the worst. I think she's the one that brought it in the house from the grocery store or something. When she started showing symptoms, this is about, at this point, this is like 2 weeks ago. She started showing symptoms, coughing and whatever. I moved out the room because if I get a cold, it triggers all types of, like, I lose my voice and all that good stuff. And I didn't think it was COVID. I was just like, you got some flu, cold stuff going on with you. Let me get away from you. So I moved into another room in the house. I went into the extra bedroom in the house. And I actually kind of liked it. I
was about to say, she was like, yay!
No, she after she was feeling better and she was like, hey, you gonna come back to the room? I'm like, I'm gonna stay a couple more days.
Hey, what happens in the guest bedroom stays in the guest bedroom.
I like being able to, I can watch TV till 3, 4 in the morning if I want to. And Joe's off, wake up and get, I like this. This is cool. This is cool for right now, But in any case, Kaylee tested positive for COVID. And then me and Tahir went and got tested. And then they came back and said that we were both positive. Which I was just like, wow, I can't believe this, man. Because Tahir, I felt just tired and a little nasally or whatever, right? Nothing, no cough. I wasn't really, had fluid coming out of my face or nothing like that. Just was really tired. Tahir, on the other hand, you didn't know, he was hopping around like, Energizer Bunny. There was nothing. He had no symptoms at all. Thank God for that. But I think everyone's feeling better. I'm still dealing with the fatigue part of it, which is crazy. Having to nap every few hours was just not one of the things I was prepared for. Like I usually take a nap or a power nap towards the end of the day or the beginning of my day because I work at night. Mm-hmm. Man, I got up that first day, Monday morning. I felt great. I got up, was moving around. I did some shit out in the yard. I was preparing for the snow. I'm moving stuff around and everything. I walked the dog. I did a bunch of shit. Got back in the house and was like, who turned the power off? I was just done. And it was only for being up for a couple of hours, and I had to lay down for another 3 hours after that. So, any case, haven't tested negative yet. Hopefully this week we'll go back and get tested and officially be COVID negative. But in the meantime, we've had to obviously stay to ourselves, and we haven't gone. And one thing that did come out of this, I started using the apps for grocery shopping to deliver your groceries. That shit is cool. I think I'm gonna keep using that.
Dude, I've been telling people for years to get on that. Like, I got on it in 2020 when COVID hit. It was either I would have them deliver it and leave it on the doorstep and just kind of knock on the door and go back to their car, or I would order and go and pick it up, and they would just
put it in your trunk.
Yep, they just throw it in the trunk, man. Walking through the store with a buggy, I don't do that no more. I don't do that no more.
I think I may adapt that. That's if it's up to me, because unless I just feel like, except for maybe like meats and stuff like that. But I've been cutting back on as well. I don't really eat red meats. The reddest meat I eat is steak, and that's only once in a while. But going to pick up meats and stuff like that, I would want to see it for myself. You know what I mean?
That was my thing for a while too. And then I just said, fuck it. I'll work with whatever. Because for me, it wasn't meats. It was produce. It was like the vegetables and the fruit. It's like, don't give me this shit that's almost wilted or this, bruised apples. I don't want that. But after a while, I just said, man, fuck it. I'll work with whatever they bring, man. And to be honest with you, more times than not, I get good stuff. It's been once or twice where I was like, motherfucker, would you eat this apple? Really? But other than that, nah, it's been good. So I want to, like, a few minutes ago during your story, there was a moment where I just laughed and there was no real place for laughter. There was no joke being told. So the joke happened in my head, and it was in reference to, and for everybody listening, I'm making hand gestures, fluid coming all out of my face. Out of my face. Yeah. I'll let y'all write your own joke for that one, because the joke that I would tell would get us kicked off YouTube. So. Oh my God. Okay. Like, COVID ain't had nothing to do with that.
Right. Fluid coming out of your face.
His name is COVID.
Was it out of or onto? Okay, so
was that Colonel Vid? He was in there doing some stuff.
Colonel Vid Collins. Bunch of things happening. Some personal story. I share another personal story with you real quick. And this one is near and dear to me because it involved my dog T'Challa. And I had my very first back and forth with my new neighbors here in the neighborhood. One of my neighbors here, the one closest to me, right next door. So okay, I don't know his name. He has a weird accent. I remember his dog's name. I don't remember the owner's name.
Wow.
Well, only because it's probably a weird name, and two, the dog's names. There's two little sausage dogs. They got short legs. Their legs are so short they can't walk upstairs. They put a ramp outside for them to walk up in and out the house. The dogs is the odd couple, Felix and Unger. That's Felix and Oscar are their names. So that's how I remember them. Okay. In any case, I got these little dogs. From the time we moved in, they bark. And it's the little annoying. And there's two of them. And they come out the house. That's what they're doing. No matter what, that's what they do. And so if I'm standing out there, they come out. And so I tried to go and meet the dogs a couple of times. And I went over there with snacks. Everything. They kind of like, hey, we going to be here. Unless y'all just don't like black people, then that's a whole nother thing. Because I can't change that.
You got racist dogs.
Racist ass dogs. Hey, listen, it wouldn't be the first. And so my dog is a German Shepherd, big dog. And they bark at him.
Them little dogs look like snacks to T'Challa.
Oh man, I thought initially, because he's still kind of a puppy. He's a year old now, and he would run over to go play with them. What I thought, because they're barking at them and they're just running around. Cause they got, the funny thing is, so our properties are separated by a little brush, wooded brush, right? That T'Challa now can just jump straight over. And then they're inside inside of a yard with a 2-foot fence. Again, these are very small dogs. It's like a 2-foot fence. I step right over it. They can't jump over it. Again, they have short legs, so it's for them not to leave the yard, right? Mm-hmm. And so T'Challa, for a while, they would bark at him, and if I'm working with him off leash, sometimes, it startles him, and he looks, and they get his attention, and he runs over there. I'm like, oh. And I'm trying to, teach him to stay instead of running. And I've been working on that. He's gotten better. Because this last time, any case, let me get to it. So he runs over there and runs around the fence with them and barking and, whatever at them. And I have to go and get them and go, all right, one of these days I'll get a fence. It's going to be a minute. We just got this property. He did it one other time, some months ago. And so I started keeping him on the leash because I would let him out the back to go use the bathroom. And then call him back off the leash and then call him back into the house. And he would do it. He would be fine. And one other time they came out barking and I was able to keep his attention from running over there and made him go in the house and he was fine. I was like, okay. But then he ran over there and I was like, okay, I got to keep you on the leash a little bit. So in any case, the other day, I'm saying, one more point. I'm saying I would be outside and the dogs would come out barking and just barking for no. And I looked at my neighbor, over the summer. I said, "Hey, man, they gonna keep doing that?" And he gave me some. There's some more. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's okay. Fast forward. So now we're in the winter. It's cold outside, snow. I took the dog out for some exercise. He used the bathroom. I took him. I'm working with him off leash. We're playing fetch, coming back and forth, and here they come. He stopped. He looked at me like. He looked at them, and then he looked at my dog, looked at all across the yard at them, then looked at me like, and I'm like, hey, you better not. And then he just took off. So I'm like, shit, I have to go check him. But this time, instead of running around the fence, he jumped straight over the little fence and caught one of the little dogs and stomped on him.
Oh.
I'm like, oh shit. He don't want to play with them. He don't like y'all. He's as annoyed as I am. Oh, snap. And the owner, the dude is out there and he grabbed a lawn chair and made a motion like he was about to hit my dog. I was like, hey man, don't hit my dog. And he's like being on, hey, get your dog out here. I'm like, I'm working on it. There's ice and stuff. I'm trying not to slip because we got snow up here. Right. I'm trying not to slip and chase the dog down. Could you get your dog out here? Hey, I'm working on it, And finally we get to him. And the dogs are steady barking and, they steady. You hear them. My dog is not barking. He's just chasing them down. And I'm like, okay. So finally I get to him. I put him on a leash and I'm walking him. He brought his dogs in the house and he comes back outside. And he goes, hey, you have to get a fence or whatever. I say, yeah, we're working on it. We'll get a fence. It ain't going to be up here this winter. In the meantime, let's work together. Because your dogs come out barking, it gets my dog's attention, and he runs over here every time. Oh, I don't know, work on no schedule. I say, ain't no schedule. Like, just give me a heads up if you're coming out, and I'll let you know if I'm off leash with my dog, and I'll do the same. I don't want to do that. I said, okay, listen, there's a problem. I'm offering a solution. We're neighbors. We're gonna be here. I don't want to. I'm like, all right. And he goes and he says something to me like, yo, you got to train your dog. I said, your dogs are the loudest dogs on the block. They come out here yapping and barking, all that, but they're dogs. Exactly. I'm like, all right, whatever, man. You don't want to do it? You want to exchange numbers and work together? All right, fine. And I take my dog, well, here, keep your dog over there. I say, yeah, I'll try. And I go in the house with my dog. I'm fuming a little bit, right? 10 minutes later, we're in the house. What do I hear? Little shitty-ass dogs come out the house. So I step out my back and I go, hey, who out here now? Who they barking at now? Shut your goddamn dogs up. And he kind of looked at me funny and came back. And since then, I haven't heard the dogs. It's been at least 2 days now. I haven't heard the dogs. I was outside the other morning with T'Challa, working with them off leash a little bit and walking around, whatever. And I can hear the dogs in the house. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed T'Challa and put him on his leash real quick. Cause I'm like, okay, they must be getting ready to come outside with these stupid little dogs. And I look over, and the dude's wife came out with one of the dogs in her arms, and she's hushing him. Shh, shh, quiet, shh, shh. And the dog he's trying to bark, and she's like, no, shh, shh, shh. And T'Challa heard the dog barking and looked over, and I was like, no, come on. And I brought him in the house or whatever. But and when the dog went to start barking, she grabbed him and brought him back in the house. In any case, all that to say, I won that argument, clearly. They have been sneaking the dogs in and out the house ever since I barked on him. And that kind of made me feel good. I just wanted to toot my own horn for a little bit.
No, and that's fine. And I have thoughts, right? Like,
yeah.
And
there's another step, because there's something else I did in response to all this. Because I'm like, if you won't shut your dogs up, I will. And I made a purchase.
We are not going to piss off Peter. We will not say what that purchase is. We'll just leave it at that. Let y'all read between the lines. And I promise we are going to get to some what is it, pop culture news stuff that we talk about or whatever, because we're 30 minutes in at this point and we're just shooting the shit. But so the man. Ooh, and I use that term loosely, right? I wonder. So the first thing that I think is, after you barked on him, you became the scary black guy in the neighborhood. Good. And don't be surprised if that's going to be the narrative that he takes to the rest of your neighbors. And I know you tight with the rest of your neighbors, and they'll tell you, like, yo, you hear what this motherfucker's saying? You know, that type of shit. Yeah. But that's going to be the narrative, right? Like, you are now going to be the bad guy. If anything happens, it's the scary black guy in the neighborhood. These strange cars, it's probably him, right? Like, that's the first thing that I think. The second thing that I think is, as a man, how do you not understand that your conversation with another man has the potential to get to the point where you're barked at, then you got to bark back, then it's got to be hands, right? When you extended the olive branch and said, hey, man, look, let's just try to work together. We can, he was being a bit of a dick he was being a bit of a dick by not recognizing the dynamic between men, right? And saying, okay, I really don't want to have to fight this big motherfucker. He's like, I'm gonna get my ass whooped if I gotta fight him. So let's just work some shit out, right? Yeah. So he didn't do that. He was pushed. Oh, God, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get in trouble for it. Please forgive me, everybody, and don't roast me too bad. He was acting like a girl.
Thank you for saying it.
He was acting like a girl, and he got dealt with. Like, he got manhandled verbally a little bit, and then he doubled down and was more of a girl. So this is a long walk to get to my thought.
Okay.
How can he now go in the house and get the respect of his wife?
I mean, by me barking at him, you thinking? Yeah,
you barked at him, and then he gave up ground. Like, he could have gave up ground and maintained some level of respect and dignity by working with you. But you barked on him and he buckled. Like, now his dog's in the house. His wife is shushing the dogs. Like, he just buckled when he could have just looked at that situation and said, all right, let me work with my neighbor. His wife got to be looking at him now like.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, because maybe this was a discussion because they know the dogs are loud. They've given up control of trying to control those dogs every time they come out the house. They just let them yip and yip, 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 yip. So maybe it was a discussion that was already happening prior to, and me barking on him brought it back up in that household. Whoever, maybe he was like, see your goddamn dog to his wife. See, these goddamn dogs is loud. I told you we got to do something about it. And now she's dealing with it. Or his wife said, see, I told you these goddamn dogs is loud. I'll deal with it.
which both loosely translates to, oh, punk ass. You know she looking at him with the side face like, you ain't never even gonna look at it again.
Oh, man. Well, hey, listen.
Hey, man, I'm just calling him how I see him. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, people, give me your opinion. Tell me in the chat, in the comment section, and just tell me I'm out of my mind, and I'm okay with that. But I'm smelling a little something got punked, and it ain't probably going so good in the house.
Yeah, he wasn't looking me in my eye either, too. That's the other thing I noticed. He wouldn't look me in my eye the entire time.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Because it's a Caucasian, Middle Eastern, some sort dude, right? Not that has anything to do with it. I'm just presenting, the optics. And he might be close to 6 feet. I stand at 6'5". And I wasn't looming over him or, posturing threat. But, as a man, I know it could go left. And if I got a swing on you, with dog in left hand, right hand is a coming. So either way, I was waiting for it. It was, it's one of them things. You can take the man out of Brooklyn, but not the Brooklyn, not the man. I was tempted to go, it's whatever. But without saying that, that's what I said. And, that's where we got to. So it'll be, I'm curious to see if he'll have anything else to say to me moving forward. But I know since that conversation, I've not heard those dogs. I mean, I promise you, it's been silent. My other neighbors that I'm close to, their dogs are loud too, but they bark for a reason. If you walk on the property, they're barking at you. Now, they may bark a little longer after you get there, but there's a reason to why they bark. If they're out on the porch, you don't hear them. When they come outside, you don't know they're outside until somebody walks on the property. These other dogs that I'm talking about, Felix and Oscar, I just remember their names. Them little bastards, they just loud for no damn reason, and I don't care. I don't really like little dogs. I think they're a waste of dog food, but
that was just a joke, Peter. It was just a joke.
And if they mess around, they will be dog food. So in any case, moving on.
Yeah.
But I'll keep you posted any further developments on this situation.
Look, dogs are supposed to bark.
Yeah, I mean, they bark. My dog is one. I'm very, very fortunate. He's a very smart dog and very quiet. So if somebody walked up in the house, they wouldn't know he was here until he's up on you. He's one of them type dogs. Outside, he returns the bark. That was another thing too. I like in talking with him, like back and forth, he had the nerve to say, because we'll leave him outside on his leash, and he had the nerve to say that my dog barks at him. I'm like, that's a lie. If he's barking, it's because your dogs are barking at him and he's returning bark. If you're just sitting outside, he don't even acknowledge it. He see you, but he's not that type of dog at all. In any case.
Yeah.
Anyway, it all ticked me off, but
I can see.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some cold, lonely nights at the neighbor's house. Yes.
He don't get invited to the barbecue anyway. My other neighbors or otherwise. So
look, he ain't getting invited to his bedroom, let alone the barbecue.
Oh damn!
He just got straight shook. Anyway,
yeah.
What you want to talk about, man? We are 35 minutes in.
No. You're 10 minutes off because we had to restart the restart. There's a bunch of different things happening. So let's just go with it, man. Shout out to my homie DJ Hot Sauce. I think someone has taken your name.
This is the best shit I've ever heard in my entire life. So if you've been living under a rock, you haven't heard about this story where Drake is allegedly, all of it is alleged. Nothing has been verified through text or witness accounts or any of that stuff. So it's completely alleged at this point.
Right.
And I don't know if a
we'll say that.
lawsuit has been filed yet, because if it has, that would be public record and that would be a document that would be all over the web. But that's my long disclaimer. Thank you, Felicia Pearson, for, putting my head in that space. But so Drake, the story goes that Drake was with an Instagram model.
Mm-hmm.
They were in a hotel.
Right.
They did their business.
Mm-hmm.
Drake used a condom because Drake
As
he is one of the safest guys out there, right? Like Drake is moving on some fucking guard his gates type shit like nobody else is, but
except for French strippers. Move on.
Well, I mean, I saw one of them.
Allegedly.
That one.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
listen,
my take on it is a little different.
I've learned a few things in my life, but I'm still a man. Damn it.
Okay.
But so he used a condom. Afterwards, it is said that he removed said condom and put something in it, tied it up, threw it in the trash. As he's sleeping, the young lady goes and fishes the condom out of the trash, attempts to insert the contents into herself, presumably, because there's no other reason one would do that, presumably to
impregnate and entrap.
Yes, and
herself.
I'm stumbling because YouTube clamps down on our language big time. So I'm stumbling to YouTube safe language. Now, as she makes the insertion, Drake is awakened by a loud scream.
Oh my God! Lord have mercy!
Sounds something like that.
Yeah. Or it's burning. At which time he admits that he put hot sauce into the condom to kill its contents, to destroy the virility of the contents. That is the most hilarious shit I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, big up. That's ingenious. You put some hot sauce. Well, allegedly hot sauce. It might have been some what's the spermicide or something. Whatever, it may have been that, and that burned. But she called it hot sauce because if it was hot sauce, wouldn't it be red? You'll be wondering what's this red substance in this bag. Anyway, yeah. I there's so much that I would like to say about this. I bet you she probably got called hot ass when she was younger. There's so much there.
Oh my God.
Sit your little hot ass down.
Okay.
Oh man. I mean, first of all, to admit, if there's a lawsuit, why were you trying to empty the contents of a used prophylactic in the first place?
So here's what's very interesting about that. That is not against the law. You are responsible for the expelled contents of your body, no matter what. So
Excuse me?
Yes, you took the precautions. You took the precautions to make sure that no child was conceived. You like, let me wrap it up. Let me do this. Let me take it out. Let me throw it away. You took the precautions and you handled your part, your responsible part. You're accountable for your part. You do what you need to do.
Right.
There is no law against her going and getting that and doing what she was trying to do. Turkey basting, right? There's no law against that. And if she did it successfully, you are accountable and responsible for the ensuing child.
Are you serious?
Serious as a heart attack, bro. Serious as a heart attack. You can't then look at that situation and be like, look, I didn't do it. I wasn't there for it. Like, nah, that wasn't me. She did that on her own. They'll go, that's great. The DNA shows that that's your kid. You still got to pay for him. That's on you. You still got to be a father. If you're not a father, you're a deadbeat.
That I don't know. I that's crazy. That's crazy. And if that's accurate, oh my God. Okay, well, what's stopping? Wow. that's
you gotta guard your gates, man. As a man, you gotta guard your gates. You look, I in our day and time, in our age, when we were growing up, it was, hey, go sow your wild oats. Go date as many women as you can. Have a good time. No. No, don't do that. You open yourself up for a lot, man. And really the deck is stacked against you as a guy when it comes to reproduction and divorce and marriage and all of that stuff. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't have kids. I'm not saying don't get married. I have kids. I've considered marriage. Am considering it, right? But you just got to be very smart about how you move and what you do. Ain't nobody going to come save you, right? Like, and nobody's going to look and say, oh, this is not fair. She shouldn't have done that, right? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man.
That's wild. That is very wild. Okay. That's okay. Cautionary tale. Big up to Drake for understanding if, even that part of it. That's crazy. He's a lot smarter than I give him credit for.
Look, and, I think the takeaway for especially young men watching is don't just be plucking these chicks off the internet, man. Don't do that. Like they look good. Like I said earlier, I've learned a lot of things, but I'm still a man. I would say treat Instagram like a museum. Go in, stand, look at it, try to understand the painting. Look at it from different angles and different lighting. Admire how beautiful the painting is, and then walk away.
Well, see, the problem with that is strip club is the new museum. And although they say do not touch, how many people in the museum still reach over and touch the dinosaur bones? So, there's that.
And see, that's a whole nother thing. Do not touch the dinosaur bones. Do not touch the dinosaur bones. So it was a video, and I will insert said video here because I don't have it pulled up. There's a video circulating of, I think it's Big Brother from one of the other countries.
I've got a clean towel. I've got a little towel I'm going to use.
Oh! Woman beater.
Go on, what?
Yeah.
Did it, sorry?
I was going to ask if you want your washing on, but I might shrink him instead. I might shrink them.
I need to talk to somebody about something that's just happened that's made me feel really uncomfortable.
There was no malice and hurt or anger in anything that I did.
Can't believe you're letting somebody stay that's done that.
Are you alright?
No, I'm not. It wasn't play fighting.
Show me here what he did. Oh, no!
Yes! Yes!
Don't, just do it on me. You don't do that.
This is why women don't say anything, because it's like turned around.
Trust me. I would never, ever, 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 ever do anything like that. But I know what she's doing to me.
He's lying. He's lying. He's trying to manipulate them in thinking that I'm making this up. I'm not making it up. And he's tarnishing my reputation by saying this is an act.
She said, I'm scared to be in the room.
Oh, my God, man. I can't even, honestly, man. Guys, if this was you, you'd be heartbroken, man. I've done nothing.
You're accusing him of doing, intentionally coming up and punching you in the ribs, is a career-stopping thing for him.
Yeah.
It would ruin him. Do you honestly believe that he done that on purpose?
I think he would be very stupid to do it in a house full of surveillance.
Big Brother, it's like all of the people live in the house together. It's a reality show, and then people get kicked off, whatever. So it's men and women in the same space together. It's this guy, and they're attractive people, right? There's no slobs like me on there. They're buff guys, whatever. Yeah. So this guy, he's walking by and he's obviously jovial, having a good time. Everybody's kind of having a good time. And he goes over to the woman and he kind of jabs on her shoulder a little bit, like pop, 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 pop. And they're all laughing and she's laughing and everything is fine until a few minutes later, she's in the confessional crying. He's a woman beater. He jumped on me. He hit me. They're now kicking him out the house. He's in the confessional crying like, I was just playing. What the hell? I don't beat women. What is going on right now? So long walk. But my point is this. Don't touch the dinosaur bones because you could come up with an allegation against you for touching the dinosaur bones, even though you're in an environment where other people touch the dinosaur bones and you're being enticed to do so. You can still come up on charges. So do not touch. Don't touch. Hell, I would say don't even go. Sorry, girls. Sorry, I'm affecting your money right now. Sorry. I would say don't even go. I've spent my fair share of time there in my youth, but now things are different. It's a different world. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous for young men.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay.
Sorry. That was a downer. But now, so this Drake story, and I know we're going to move on, but this Drake story brought something else up about Drake that I had heard, but I didn't know if it was true, or maybe you've heard it and can on some level corroborate it or verify it, but that Drake has someone on staff who goes out and finds women, interviews the women, lets them know what it's going to be, and bring them back to him, and he does his thing.
I've heard that as well. I can't corroborate it, or I don't know if that for sure. So allegedly, but I guess my thought process on that is he ain't the only one that do that. There's quite a few cats that got money that do that type of thing. You know what I mean? I've heard, and I won't say who, but there was a certain comedian that even talked about how he would bring women in. How, they would set it up through one of his partners or somebody over on staff, and he'd be out of town. It's a hotel room away from his room, or maybe, in another floor or whatever the case. They set it up. That person goes there. He meets them there. They do their thing. He goes back to his room. That person gets back on a plane, goes back where they came from. Even going as far as to bigger than the hotel thing, setting up, buying said woman a starter house. Hey, when I'm in town, you know what it is. Do what you do. But when I'm here, it's me and you, and then bounce. That's a whole nother level of pimping, if you ask me.
You know what it is? It's introducing the middleman so you can cut out all of the bullshit. Oh my God. Is picking up girls with middle management. That's what it's. This motherfucker's got an HR department. Like, what the hell is going on?
And probably the worst example of this was R. Kelly.
Oh God.
Because even while he was in jail, he still had people running these women.
Listen, he's gonna have an HR department in jail, but the H and the R gonna stand for something different. Heiny ripped.
Hit the rough side of the mountain.
That poor bastard. Anyway, that's a whole nother
really
talent. Loudly.
I don't know. That's the HRL. That's the whole nother thing.
Help the aura. That's what the HR.
Hurt Robert. That's the HR department.
Oh boy.
Rectum. There it is. Rectum damn near killed him. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
It only hurts when I laugh.
Really quickly, I don't want to stay on it too long, but Kanye, I don't like talking about this man, but he's He's been in the news pretty consistently for the past, I don't know how, since the divorce and Kim Kardashian hosting SNL and kind of roasting him on SNL just a little bit. And then Kim Kardashian dating one of the stars of SNL, which clearly Pete Davidson is black in all the right places, apparently. Because I was like, oh, good for her. She finally dated a white dude. And yeah, no, like this, I think he got some Negro qualities, apparently.
He has some black features.
Right. And continues to feature with, okay, anyway, long story short. So there was a story that came out sometime last week or whatever, that Kanye was out and punched someone who asked for an autograph.
I heard that, and he's getting sued over that shit, and he should.
He absolutely should, because God, come on, Mr. West, you ain't no gangster.
But
you ain't no gangster. I'm not saying he don't fight or can't fight, but hey, you know, and
but I mean, you just don't. You don't shit on the people who made you. You don't. Right. Like, I get it. Like, you're probably not going to want to sign an autograph every time someone asks you to sign an autograph, but that's what you get.
Or should you have to?
That's what you get your whole middle management for, right? Like, yeah, but all jokes aside, you get somebody to buffer, or you just politely, because I'd still think, by and large, people are understanding and not complete assholes. And if you ran up on him and was like, give me an autograph, and he looked at you like, man, look, not today, bro. It's a tough day. Yeah. I think most people would just be like, I bet, cool.
Yeah, yes, most people, and you know, there are some people that can be a little persistent and maybe do things to try to antagonize and get you to a point. I don't think that's what happened here. The narrative I see and remain reason why I don't like talking about Kanye is because he, for the most part, we're seeing a person that is not in their full mental capacity.
Yes.
You know, emotionally, right? And it's playing out in front of us in real time. Everything from him, you know, running for president, you know, launching a campaign for president, to his, you know, him breaking down, crying, talking about Harriet Tubman, and it's laughable. It would be laughable if it weren't sad. And seeing a person as talented as he go through this thing he's not the first, but it doesn't seem like he's trying to get help. That's the other side. That's frustrating. He's not participating in his betterment. It's just,
yeah, he's like on his meds and then off his meds, and you know, right. He's got to be on his meds, man. You got to be.
So in any case, so he punches this fan. He talked about it somewhere. There's an interview somewhere. I don't like talking about him, but he addressed why he punched the person, which is now stupid, because now you've gone on the record talking about you hitting someone, that they're going to sue you and they can use that against you. So there's that. He bought the house across the street from his, you know, his soon-to-be ex-wife. I don't know if they actually divorced yet, but he bought the house next door so he could be closer to the kids, so he says. But I think it's a little more. He's been still trying to woo Kim Kardashian, like, hey, let's get back together. He's done this on public forums, on stage and in songs. Kim Kardashian has clearly made it clear that she's moved on and is boning.
Allegedly boning.
Yeah, yeah, we'll say that.
We weren't in the room watching the bone.
Okay, she has been seen out on numerous occasions, in intimate settings and other. Maybe they're just good friends.
It appears from the venues and the situations in which they find themselves that they could be pursuing a romantic endeavor. Could be.
Yeah. dating, or maybe they just smash brothers. That's a whole nother way to look at it. Man, she's like my brother. Y'all smash brothers. Okay, so
I'm never gonna hear my son talk about that game and think about it the same way again ever.
That's the whole point. I'm trying to ruin everyone's childhood. So last week he puts out this song featuring the game. If you're watching this, you won't hear the audio because of copyright restrictions on YouTube. If you want to hear the rest of what we're talking about, go over to our website, unpopinshow.com, find the audio, and you can listen to it there so you can hear more of what we're talking about. Okay? So he released this song called Eazy, sampling Eazy-E's voice. The game is featured on there, and he effectively took shots at Pete Davidson. I'll play a portion of it right here. Okay. I got right to it. There's a little more to it. I probably could have played a little more, but
we actually might be able to get away with that. Like that was less than 3 seconds. So we might be able to get away with it. I'll leave it in if YouTube hates it, then I'll just pluck it out and whatever. Okay. But so yeah, that's childish. That's petty. But it's hip hop, right? I would take it better if Pete was also a hip hop person, like a rapper or whatever, because then that's just hip hop, right? Like you needle at the next nigga, you get at them and they get back at you, and you just add a shit on records and it's fine. It's what it is.
No, because context is key. He's divorcing. He's in the middle of a divorce with his wife. His wife has filed for divorce. She has moved on. He has moved on. He's been seen out with another model of some sort.
Oh, just a beautiful French thingy. Whew, she's beautiful. Anyway.
And she's also a fan of Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian says she has no problem with her. I'd rather a fan than a hater. That's kind of the quote of what Kim Kardashian said about the woman that Kanye has been dating. But then to go further, then to go and make, take a stab at who your soon-to-be ex-wife may or may not be dating is not cool. That's not hip-hop. That's not part of the game at all. That's more into the narcissism, mental illness space that, he's operating in.
So I don't think it's cool either way, but I would take it differently if Pete had the same type of platform to come back at him on records, right? Like if it was another rapper and Kanye took his petty shot, and Pete could put out a record to take another petty shot. And I mean, I know he has his own platform, but it's not really the same. Like he can't go on. Well, I mean, I guess he could go on SNL and do
worse. That's what I'm gonna say.
He could go on SNL.
Kanye is on the losing battle of this because Pete is on TV every week. And if you want to, as long as it's funny, they're like, we'll rock with you because there's a certain feeling about Kanye at SNL as well.
Yeah.
Based on what he did there. So he, if Pete decides to return fire, and I believe somebody, the writers over there at SNL would have a ball. If that story had came out before Friday, they probably would have had it on the show, the next day on this past show. But that doesn't keep him from doing the next show. Right. And it's going to be worse. And what makes it bad for Kanye is he takes himself way too seriously, and he's going to be really offended. I mean, just think about what South Park did to him. He was fuming about that. They did the whole Kanye fish sticks joke.
Yeah.
And Kanye made fish sticks about himself, and he didn't take too kindly to that. If they decide to roast him at SNL, we're gonna see.
But he can't be mad. He can't be mad about it because he fired the first shot. You popped off the first shot. You can't be mad when people shoot back at you. Like that's what that is. But
and then it's a person that thinks straight would feel that way.
Fair enough. The part that I think that I'm more dismayed about because Pete, Kanye, Kim, they all grown people, and it is what it is. But a whole bunch of the verse leading up to the part that you played was him talking about his kids and how you spoil, we gave you too much. He's really just kind of airing out his kids. And I'm like, I feel you, bro, but nah. Like, you can feel all that way and think that way, but nah, man, you don't drag your kids. Yes, you don't drag your kids in the middle of your beef with some other dude who allegedly is stuck in their mother at this point.
Stuck.
I had to see the YouTube catch that one. How about that?
I want to do a whole new Mobb Deep song, Stuck Ones.
Featuring the entire Kardashian family. Anyway, but no. And the other thing, and I'll say this and I'll shut up about it because I don't particularly like talking about Kanye anymore either. And when you think about it, if you go back to like those first 4 or 5 shows, I think we talked about Kanye every show, every episode, because he was doing something stupid every week. But he needs to let it go, bro. And I think I said this about Tyrese. The more you beg to get her back, the less she wants to come back to you. You look like less and less and less of a desirable man when you begging in public to get her back. That is not going to win you the woman. It's going to make her go, ugh.
And you know who you can learn that lesson from the best? Robin Thicke. Remember?
Yes.
Remember his split from his wife? He did a whole album about her, which may have been a romantic gesture, but she probably may have perceived it like what you just said, just kind of, ugh, you know.
What was her name? Paula Patton? Was it? That was her name? Oh, she was just. He cheated on her, didn't he?
Yes, allegedly.
Early. And like they wasn't married and together for like 15, 20 years, and then he stepped out. It was like a couple years or something, right?
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah. Have you seen her? Like,
oh yeah. Listen, that and looks have nothing to do with it. Everybody has their thing, and misjudgments, and allegedly he had one or a few.
You know what? You're right. Looks don't.
Halle Berry. Halle Berry is gorgeous, and whoever she was with still. I don't want to say his name.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's public. I mean, it's Eric. There was allegations that Eric Benet cheated on her. He came out and he said he was a sex addict and then all that stuff, and their relationship.
And allegedly, she's blind in one eye as a result of, allegedly.
Yeah. Now that one I'm not going to talk about because none of that was adjudicated, and it's criminal. It's criminal stuff in there. So,
but back on Robin Thicke, the story is, here's the funny thing, that anytime you mention Marvin Gaye's name, Robin Thicke's booty hole dispenses money.
Both he and T.I. and Pharrell. Yeah.
Robin Thicke the worst though. He gets the thick of it.
Nicely done. There you go.
Thank you.
Can we? I know we're all over the place at this point, and we're probably getting to the point where we're going to wrap up. But we mentioned Halle Berry. Can we go back to Halle Berry for a quick second?
Sure.
Last night. I watched her Netflix movie, Bruised.
Yes.
That is a damn good movie. Halle Berry did her thing in that movie.
You forget, I watched it with my wife, right? One, she's a gorgeous woman with or without makeup. But watching that movie, you forget that's Halle Berry. You forget that this woman is over the age of 50. You know what I'm saying? Because she's in phenomenal shape. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But she really, I read a review that said she disappears into that role. And yeah, I have to agree. She did a very good job. And she directed this movie.
Yes.
And it wasn't even like, I'm going to direct. It was, I saw an interview where she said it was out of necessity because whoever was attached to director previously was, you know, either stepped away from it or wasn't able to do it, and she was kind of like, "All right, fuck it, I'll do it." And so I don't know if that's her directorial debut or not, but that was
I don't know.
That was pretty good.
So she did the thing. I highly recommend that movie. Netflix is not paying me. Halle Berry is not paying me. Although I'll take money from either one of you motherfuckers. It was just a good movie. And I get on here a lot and I trash movies and I trash TV shows and I talk about unoriginal scripts and horrible writing and poor character development. None of that is the case here. None of that is the case here. It's a fight movie, so you've seen fight movies before, right. But this one was done in a way I haven't really seen done before. The character development was great. They did kind of drop us off in the middle of the story a little bit, but they made up for it on the back half. And yeah, I have nothing bad to say about it. I really, really like that movie. This might be one of those movies I watch a second time, and I never watch movies twice. I never watch them twice. I watch a movie and then I'm done with it. I move on. But this one I might watch it a second time.
Staying on movies on Netflix, what'd you think? Did you watch Don't Look Up?
I haven't seen it yet. So it's in the line, and the only reason Halle Berry skipped the line is because old girl wanted to see it too. But the Wu-Tang show has been in the line for so long that I'm like, okay, I got to get the Wu-Tang show finished, and then it's a couple of other animes that my daughter wanted me to watch, and then I'm like, all right, Don't Look Up is next. So Don't Look Up, I'll probably watch it like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
Okay, all right, cool. Lastly, I wanted to touch on this before we sign off. Jim Jones has been in the news a few times last week. I follow him on Instagram, so I watched him, Mano, and Fab working out, going to the gym, right? Mm-hmm. And roasting each other about their outfits, because I think Jim Jones started it, going at Fab because he had some, fancy, I don't know if it was Balenciaga or whatever, sweatsuit, sweats to go to the gym. He's like, yo, you act like we going to the club. They're roasting each other, right? The next day, Mano shows up the same way. Day after that, Jim Jones comes and they're like, yo, you matching too much, nigga. It's kind of cool to see these cats together and working out and making fitness a priority. And by example, showing fitness to be, as an example, they issued some sort of challenge or maybe he issued the challenge, but Jadakiss also in the whole separate gym is on video, and I'll just put a link to it so you can kind of see it for yourself, but he's hanging from rings upside down, doing some sort of pull-up, sit-ups upside down and talking to the camera. He's not out of breath. He's not struggling. He's not straining. He's talking like, hey, you want because I think he's supposed to be on a song with them or something like that. He's like, you want your verse? Come get it. And then he stair steps down in air on these rings from upside down to right side up. I was impressed. I was like, okay, I got to get my shit together because these cats are doing their thing, and we were all within the same age group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But Jim Jones again is a story that I won't talk about. What I will talk about is that he issued a challenge a Verzuz challenge to Jadakiss.
So everybody, T is laughing because he's watching my face. If you're listening, you're not seeing my face. He's watching my face, and he knows that I'm doing my best to not talk about what he doesn't want to talk about. I'm holding it back, and I'm going to try. I really am going to give it the good old college try. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So he issues says he wants to do a one-on-one versus battle with Jadakiss because he feels like he didn't like what Jadakiss did, and he'll fare better against Jadakiss. My thoughts on that: Jadakiss one-handedly, solo. I mean, his crew was there, but Jadakiss did the work and dismantled the entire Dipset by himself a one-on-one is not going to matter. That's like saying, I'm going to fight all 5 of you, and he fights all 5 of you, whoops all your ass, and you go, nah, that wasn't fair. Let's go ahead. Let's go. Let's shoot the fair one. He's just beat 5 dudes at once. What is he going to do when he only has to concentrate on you? Stop it. This is not going to work out.
I think Jim Jones will take the L because Jadakiss is a classic hip hop showman, right?
Yes.
And a lot of dudes, even a lot of dudes from his era, ain't that, right? So I think he will win again. However, I think having taken the L that they took, Jim Jones will come a lot more prepared. So it'll be a better show. It'll just be a better showing.
Yeah, but also Jim Jones ain't got still forget that the Verzuz battle is also about your hit records. Jim Jones don't have that many hit records.
No.
He don't have 10. I know he ain't got 20. I'm talking about popular hit records, not just street bangers and mixtape records. He has those, and he has joints that did well in New York and on the mixtape circuit and in the streets and stuff like that. But I can only think of 2, definitely 1, Pop Champagne, which wasn't necessarily his record. He was on it, and We Fly High.
I just wasn't really into Dipset. I just wasn't.
No, I like Dipset. I don't want to diss Dipset. I think for that Verzuz battle, they beat themselves because they didn't come prepared.
I will say that I had forgotten because I wasn't really into them. Like, and it wasn't like they made bad music or nothing. I just wasn't really into them. Like, it never clicked for me.
They got joints. And going back to when Cameron first came out, like they got joints.
But see, that was Cameron. There was no Dipset back then, right? Horse and Carriage and all of that stuff.
It was still Dipset. It just wasn't incorporated yet.
Fair enough. None of them other cats had made records back then. It was just Cam, right?
Correct.
And it was cool to hear Cam like 357, Horse and Carriage, oh, I forgot about these records. And then when I saw them kind of doing their thing, I was like, oh yeah, this record was kind of hot in the club, right? Like, so, that part I think was cool, but they just never really clicked for me. And I want to say it's because, their sound was very New York. I think they were like huge in New York.
Absolutely. Harlem, Harlem World, you know what I'm saying? They definitely represent New York City hardcore, right? They get a certain respect in New York City. Not to say that the rest of the country doesn't like them. After Cameron was featured on a primetime network TV show. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people recognize him.
100%.
He's on Queens. And so was Remy Ma, by the way, now. But like I said, I don't think they took it seriously enough. It's like a cat that that's naturally talented versus somebody that works out in the gym all the time, is skilled and goes to the gym all the time. That extra work ethic will
I had this conversation, and I'll say this and we can wrap and get out of here. I had that exact conversation with my daughter back in July, I think it was, about she's talented at a lot of things. And she gets bored because she's talented and she's a visual learner. So she'll watch and her brain will be tricked into thinking, oh, I know it, but she hasn't developed the skill with her fingers. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. But so we talked about talent versus skill. And I said, baby girl, you ain't got to be the most talented singer, but you can master the skill of it. You don't have to be the most talented artist, but you can master the skill of it. And in some cases, you can show up better than the talented person because a lot of them lean on their talent and they never develop their skill level. I don't care if you have talent or if you don't. You have to develop your skill level. You have to get to a point where your worst day, your poorest performance, your most horrible showing is better than 90% of everybody else on their good day, on their best day. And that can be developed through skill. If your talent ever fails you, you still got the skill. A talented and skilled basketball player can leave the court when he gets too old and become a coach. You can't coach off of talent. You can coach off of skill. So, anyway, that's my public service announcement. There we go.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Hey, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate you listening. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Go to unpopinshow.com, hit the subscribe button there. Actually, if you find the video, you can hit the subscribe button right there on YouTube and be subscribed on both or something like that or whatever. Or it might be somewhere on the screen here if you're watching. Just hit that button. Just punch a bunch of buttons.
Down there.
Down there. Just hit everything that you see says subscribe anywhere near our show, and you'll be in the mix. That works? That works? Did we cover it all? Okay.
And share. When you hit it, share it.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Hey, it's too late to say, but I'll say it again. Happy New Year. Happy 2022. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.